Assalamualaikum and Salam Sejahtera. My name is Muhamad Syafiq bin Hassan and my partner is Ericko Mightgambang, anak. Our group will be presenting about solid waste management, a case study in Sri Aman district.
Salam Sejahtera to my panels. My name is Ericko from Group 2. So for the introduction, solid waste is a common problem in both urban and rural areas. Solid waste increases are due to the increase in pollution as well as urban development that is increasing to support the population. So the generation of solid waste is all the time, like household or domestic waste. But the generation that increases dramatically is during the festival season, according to Ismail Mota. The average solid waste collected daily by the SW Corp is 8,547.76 tons. So solid waste management law and acts plays important role in addressing the issue of solid waste management effectively. These three components help local government to avoid any negative impact towards human and nature. So local authorities and residents need to cooperate in addressing the issue of solid waste. The cooperation of these two parties can ensure good environment for long terms towards human and nature.
For the problem statement, the solid waste is a serious issue that needs to be managed properly because of the situation where it keeps increasing every time. In 2005, it is reported that the waste in Malaysia was generate about 19,000 tons per day and increased to 38,000 tons per day in 2018. In Sri Aman, which is the location of the study, according to Tang, which conducting a study in Sarawak in 2020, he stated that the waste generation in Sri Aman was almost reached 0.4 kg per person per day. Our research consists of three research objectives, which the first objective is to identify the effectiveness of solid waste management in Sri Aman district. Second is to determine the challenge faced by the Sri Aman District Council in managing the solid waste. And the third objective is to provide the recommendation to the Sri Aman District Council in managing the solid waste. Meanwhile, the research question is a question that based on the research objective of our research. This is our research analytical framework of the solid waste management. There are two themes, which is effectiveness and challenge. Each of the themes consists of 5 sub-themes, which is waste minimization, reuse and recycling, energy recovery, relevant policy, and also incineration for the theme of effectiveness. Meanwhile, for the theme of challenge, it is consists of poor solid waste management, cost, population, impact on environment, and also environmental awareness.
Alright, and our research methodology, the first is qualitative method. So it helps us to collect better information and data, and we also use cross-sectional study for our research design. It also helps us to collect and gather the data and information. So for the sampling technique is purposeful sampling. So our unit of analysis is officers of solid waste management in Sri Aman. So we conduct an online interview to getting an information and data, and the data analysis is thematic analysis.
For the first theme, which is effectiveness, the first question that been asked by the researcher are about the method that been used in managing the solid waste in Sri Aman. Both of the respondents are answering with a similar answer, which is by a domestic method. After that, the researcher are asking the respondent to describe the various methods that been used, and both of the respondents are also answering with a similar answer, which is reuse and recycling method. The second question that been asked regarding the effectiveness was their opinion on the most effective method that been taken by the local authority in managing the solid waste. The respondent A are answering with there are practically no fully effective method, and the current method that been used are collection by the contractor. Meanwhile, the respondent B are answering with the council still using the scheduled collection method. After that, the researcher are asking the respondent to elaborate on how the method that been used is considered to be the most effective. The respondent A was answering with the scheduled collection is the most practical because of the limited reuse and recycle collector. Meanwhile, the respondent B answering with the method that been used can be considered effective because of the small area in Sri Aman. For the sub-theme of the waste minimization, the researchers are asking about the best method to minimize the waste that have been produced by the public. Both of the respondents are answering with the reuse and recycle method, which are able to reduce the waste that have been produced. After that, the researchers ask the respondent to elaborate more on the method, and both of the respondents are giving an answer about the small size of the Sri Aman, which made the method to be more effective, and it required a higher cost if other method is being used. The second sub-theme with reuse and recycling, the researchers are questioning the respondent on how the local authority managing the recyclable waste that been produced by the public. Both of the respondents are answering with the council will contact the collector to purchase the waste. The third sub-theme with energy recovery, the researcher asking about whether this method are being used in Sri Aman, and both of the respondents are saying that this method are not available in Sri Aman. Fourth sub-theme with the relevant policy, the researcher are asking the respondent on the action that been taken by the local authority in improving the solid waste management. Both of the respondents are saying that they're still using the current method that been used, and they will propose a new method to discuss. For the last sub-theme, which is incineration, the researchers are questioning whether the incineration method are being used in Sri Aman, and both of the respondents answering with no, which means that this method are not being used in Sri Aman district.
Alright, for the sub-theme, poor solid waste management. So both respondents stated that the humans' attitude that causes solid waste management to weak. And the question 2 is both respondents answer that the local authorities should involve residents to face the solid waste management issue by giving them talk and explanation about the solid waste or garbage to increase their awareness. Alright, and the next sub-theme is cost. So question 1, so both respondents agree that the cost of solid waste management is high, which it will complicate the solid waste disposal and affect the solid waste management. And the question 2 is respondent A answer that the increases in collection frequency schedule. By the way, respondent B also answered that the party or tenant should follow the schedule that's set by the local government. And the third question from the cost sub-theme is both respondents answered that manpower and machinery causes collection and recycling of solid waste incurred high. And the next is sub-theme population. So question 1, we get that the respondent A answer that the trend of buying tapau contribute to increases of garbage production. By the way, respondent B answered that the increases of population required to additional foods and drinks, which these two answers are related to each other. Alright, the next subtheme is impact on environment. So we had two questions, and the first question is we get both respondents answers that the open burning will pollute air and produce carbon dioxide and carbon monoxides that will be harmful to human health. And the second question is both respondents answer that the disposal at landfill produce odor pollution because there is no fire control, no leachate control, and the area of landfill is large. Okay, the last subtheme is environmental awareness. So we get findings, and the answer is from respondent A. Answer that the human throwing rubbish illegally and not throwing it to the rubbish bin, while respondent B answer that the human like to excess food and use of the many difficult destroyed material such as plastic and polystyrene. So our recommendations for this issue is the first is according to Malaysian Investment Development Authority 2021, utilizing technology in solid waste management, have at least one waste to energy plant in every state. It is a way to improve the efficiency of solid waste management process and to avoid relying on the landfill of solid waste. And the second is relevant and environmentally acceptable options for waste retreatment. Today are modern combustions technologies and fuel gas cleaning according to the Zaini Sakawi. It has a positive impact on the environment, such as a very efficient reduction of waste volume, which can reduce by 9 to 9.5% from the original, and also can reduce odors. And the third is waste prevention. It is a measure to reduce the amounts of food waste effectively. This measure is a cost-effective solid waste management, and it is recommended to minimize and prevent. The last is local authorities need to disclose consumers related to the solid waste management, which consists of 4 types, namely residual waste, recycled waste, garden waste, and bulk waste, according to SW Corp Malaysia 2020. Alright, and the limitation of this research. The first is it's provide only 2 themes, and each of themes had 5 sub-themes. So the researchers do not research in depth on the issue of solid waste management. And the second is movement control order (MCO), which prevents the researcher from conducting the face-to-face interview. So this is to keep the distance and to avoid the occurrence of infections that can create a cluster. And the third is officers that serve in the Sri Aman district are also always busy. So the researchers always need to remind the officers about the interview.
For the conclusion, the study is being conducted to gain more knowledge about the solid waste management in Sri Aman district regarding to the effectiveness and the challenge in managing the solid waste. Based on the study, we can conclude that the solid waste management in Sri Aman district are on the effective level, even there are many challenges faced by the local authority. This study also proved that the poor solid waste management, cost, population, impact on the environment, and the environment awareness is the challenge faced by the local authority in managing the solid waste in Sri Aman district. Because of this study are providing a recommendation that can be used by the local authority of the Sri Aman district to ensure the effectiveness and the sustainable of the solid waste management, which are able to reduce their cost and time. That's all from our group and thank you.